Hello, my name is Shelly and welcome back for another episode of 33 As Korea. In previous episode we pretty much emptied our cash reserves. We still technically speaking have 4 million in the investment pool, but it is actually all being used already more or less. Yeah, we're trying to get our economy to match China's, so we're not that far behind anymore. About 47 or somewhere thereabouts, which is still quite a bit to consider that we only have about 6 years to go. So that's a bit of a problem. However, we do have a few things that will happen sooner. One, we're getting the pump jacks in 3 to 4 months, which will allow us to increase productivity in... Oh, right, also unlocks oil rigs. Well, unfortunately, we don't have any... we don't have particular use for it, but the automatic irrigation for various plantations will help quite a bit in increasing the productivity of things like tobacco and silk and... I guess cotton as well. Yeah, I suppose it will. One thing that I'm also thinking is maybe we should actually just reduce autonomy of Karen a bit further. They're now a vassal, and then we can demand an annexation near the end. That would cause a bit of infamy. Oh yeah, the Liberty Eye is going down very, very quickly. But yeah, since we've got the truce, we can't do that. Yeah, I probably should have done a lot earlier. So what we can do then is we can just annex Karen. Some of our population might then start moving in there, which then of course would mean perhaps the thing would be more profitable. And of course we could then get some domestic rubber. I mean, we do get some rubber from there, but actually I don't know if we do. Because there is no rubber plantations, are there? There could be 7, but there's 0 right now, but it was mostly because there's no population to really work anything. There we go, we're almost at 110 million, and that is definitely going to be growing. I mean, we are having quite a bit of private sector building still underway. Plus, I suppose another thing that I probably could do, I noticed that there is a bit of a lack of workers in some places over here. Actually, it's not too bad in our capital yet. But there is a little bit of lack of workers available overall, so what we could probably do is go for things like the... Actually, motor industries, we already have that. Could maybe increase it even further. Well, actually that wouldn't be that much. Maybe the tuning workshop. That's got a bit of a potential lack of workers. So I'm going to put the water tube boilers here, which admittedly frees up 25,000 laborers. It will increase the coal consumption a lot, but the availability of coal in the market isn't too bad, honestly. Korean Woman's Travels. A full set of travel writings by a female author have been published lending support to the property of women law. 10% success chance, or we can... no, let's just take 10%. That's going to at least get us a little bit further. We do have a little bit of lack of authority. Now, one of the things that we can do, since we are losing money fairly quickly here, is we can increase the taxes back to medium taxes, which will basically fix any budget issues that we have currently. I'm just leaving it to be on the lower side to let the population get a little bit wealthy and all that. Oh, what's this then? Oh, USA is fighting Marina Kingdom. Right then. For a moment I thought that was the USSR fighting Poland. I was getting a little bit worried there. But yes, the GDP is increasing. How's the... Okay, yeah, they're still around 145 million. So the difference is about 30... Well, it's still about 36 million, I reckon. But that probably will be improving a lot soon enough. Investment pool is still going a bit up and down there, I reckon, but yeah, probably not for too long. Getting some art academies, motor industries and all that, especially the motor industries will be very, very much needed. It looks like the textile mill is actually pretty good over here. Okay, no, we don't have the power looms there. Elastics we could probably try, but at the same time that would increase the rubber consumption a lot. Reduce the cloth production, actually that's not really something that we want. Electric sewing machines, we need the electrical capacitors for that, which I doubt we'll be able to get anytime soon. Population still increasing quite a bit. Oh, we're getting an explosive factory as well. So if we do have a look at the market prices, rubber is in pretty high demand. We could probably go ahead and import that from another source. Maybe the British East Indies market. Just get a little bit more from there. It's a land route, so we don't actually need convoys for that. We've got plenty of bureaucracy available. Actually, another thing might be... perhaps start importing some coal. It's not really profitable yet, so we won't do that then. Is there any good highlights over here? Oh, unproductive trade routes. Ah, right, so that's not really going to be good enough anymore. That's not good enough. And that's not good enough. Okay, and also the import of oil is not good enough. Okay, well, there's at least a few things that we did. Switch things around, which might actually be a bit of a counterproductive for now, but we shall see. There's also a whole lot of power plants being built. A good chunk of them are being built in the state of Yongnam, so the southeastern state. There is plenty of, well, somewhat good amount of power in there. But I suppose there is probably a lot of things that we can start using the power in here, which of course will start to make... Well, I suppose another thing is, if there's a good availability of power, then the coal consumption is going to be probably reduced a little bit. So there is that. There's also a whole lot of different industries already in the state. I mean, we've got a lot of industries in all states. I was actually looking before starting the recording session that quite a bit of the areas that we produce, we are in the top 10 producers on so many things. Oh, there we go. Now we're over 110 million. How's the Chinese GDP? 145, so yeah, we've still got a chance, especially once we get the pump tracks. That's going to allow us to increase the productivity of a lot, or production of a lot of things, which should, at least in theory, increase the GDP by, I don't know, probably another 5 million at least. Because all the cotton and silk plantations will be producing a lot more, and tobacco and a few other things. Is there anything that we have in... Well, actually, let's have a look at the highlights again. So, considerable import. There's a bit of iron that we could perhaps import. Let's import some from the Russian market and the British market. Both of them. So that's going to reduce the iron price at least a little bit. Because we can't really increase the mining. Well, actually, no, there's still iron mines available over here in northeastern state. But a lot of the mines that we can build have been built. Well, actually, not on iron by the looks of it. Coal, well, actually, even... Oh, then no, that's on Manchuria, not ours. Yeah, coal and iron over here are completely used up. So now we are researching the investment banks, which, if I remember correctly, yes, it's going to allow us to have yet another company, which allows us to have a lot more productivity. But I suppose in the production, the threshing machine is going to be the next one, so we'll queue that one. We'll focus on society and production right now. The military is not really something that we'll be using for the rest of the playthrough anyway. I mean, we were mostly playing economical playthrough anyway. I think the next one that we do might be a bit more fighting. Oh, there we go, success. So we've got 48% of the property women. Is there a lot of... okay, there's 27,000... Oh, actually, that reminds me. This state could definitely use... we'll start over here with the automatic irrigation. We'll start with that. Tobacco plantations can also get that one. And the silk plantation. There we go. Let's see if that's going to have a much of an impact on the GDP. I mean, it's currently 111.4 million. And I think that will probably increase a bit further from there. Well, a little bit. We're still losing quite a bit of money. But I suppose the investment pool, well, that hasn't really increased that much in the end. Oh, threshing machines is pretty well. It was the only option, I suppose. But yeah, the thing with the automatic irrigation, it doesn't actually reduce the labor need total, but it does offer some more better paying jobs. Instead of laborers, there'll be machinists and farmers. I suppose we could also do something similar in our capital. We'll start with the silk plantation. It's going to be quite a bit of engines needed. There we go, 112 million already. Then the cotton plantation is going to be a whole lot of engines as well. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of transportation available in here, so that does cause some issues. And then in the motor industries, we do not have the electric engines available yet. That's going to be another problem. There you go, 112 million. How's China looking? 144. So the difference is now only 32 million. We've still got 5.5 years. And especially once we get the skyscraper, that's going to allow us to do a lot more things, I reckon. I think what I might do, that we've got a lot of convoys available. Let's have a look at some of the other trade options. So clothing, there's a bit of demand for it. It's not that bad of a price though. Glass, there's a bit of demand. Unproductive trade route for rubber. Okay, well, I'm not going to touch that one because we know that we need rubber in large quantities. However, let's have a look at the export options. Fruit, we got quite a bit extra. Tools, we got a lot of extra. Yeah, let's export some tools to Russia and British East Indies. That's going to make our tool production a bit more profitable, hopefully. And we'll hopefully get a little bit more people doing the trading, thus getting a bit more better paying jobs. The standard of living is still 13.4, which has slowly increased. So there's definitely been some boost in there, but it might not be quite enough. And it's less than a year for the investment banks to be researched, so that's good. Again, once we start approaching below 1 million in gold reserves, I might go ahead and increase the taxes at that point. And once the skyscraper, that's going to be done in 12 weeks. Okay, so that's not too bad then. Should be able to do weather that until then. Let's have a look. Is there good import source of glass? The French market could be okay. Not necessarily hugely profitable. I suspect that it will still help. But yeah, 112.2 million in GDP. How's the Jing GDP looking like? It's 144 still. We are right behind them in terms of the position over here in the ledger, of course. So there is still a decent chunk of difference there. So prestige is also kind of catching up with them. But unfortunately, we can't raise in ranks because we are still a puppet, and that's probably not going to happen. Or, you know, not going to change much, let's be honest. No, we just lost a little bit of productivity. Now, is there any other states that are using... well, actually, first of all, let's have a look. Is the engine price in our market terrible? It is a bit on the high side. It probably means that there's going to be a bit more motor industries being built now. There's at least one more. I'm kind of hoping that there might be some more, but yeah, well, I guess we'll start with that. There's also still more plantations and even lead mines being built on our nation. I do actually wonder, are Liberty Society still maxed out? And don't think we can still... No, they will not accept that. We've got a little bit of support, but fairly little. I mean, we haven't really focused too much on the diplomacy play. I think the next playthrough... So what I'm planning on doing is I'm probably going to take one of the minor nations in northern Germany and try to form Germany with that. Potentially something... I don't remember which states are available, though. Haven't really looked at the map in a long while here. But something like maybe Hamburg or Lübeck or somewhere around there, and trying to kind of reform the Hansa by being, you know, very trade-oriented. Not necessarily so much in the production, but do a lot of trading. Lots and lots of trading. And then, of course, diplomacy to try to get people to join in. Because if I remember correctly, you can still have nations join you. Well, actually, I'm not entirely sure about the Germany. I know the Italy playthrough. Well, Papal States playthrough, we got some nations to join in, which is having good relations and doing trade deals and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of the idea that we're going to do in there. A bit of diplomacy playthrough, but also, you know, eventually form Germany. Oh, there we go, law enforcement back to level 4. We got 112 million GDP. The radicals are still fairly high. It's about 2.5 times higher than what we have loyalists. Population is still increasing. How's the, of the population? Okay, peasants only make, how much? 1.7 million. Oh, wow, that number has gone down a lot recently. Right, we still have a bit of a shortage of workforce over here in our capital. It's not the worst, but I suppose, yeah, the transportation is still pretty high in demand. At the same time, what I probably could do... Cotton plantation, if we put trail transportation there, that's going to increase the cost a lot. But it does also mean that there's probably going to be some railways being built in here. If not, well, I suppose we could build one. It will be privatized afterwards, but that's going to give us at least a little bit of transportation as well. The power plant seems to be not hiring enough people, which is probably because the power price isn't that high. I don't suppose there's a lot of things that we can do to alleviate that, is there? Oh, and there we go. Skyscraper completed. 25 prestige for 5 years. I mean, it's something. And that does also increase, of course, the productivity of our government administration, which should probably mean that the taxation capacity is going to be largely sorted. I'm not actually entirely sure. Well, it's going to increase the throughput, yeah, so I suspect that that will probably be fixing some of the... Oh, yeah, tax collection, it's already only 5% lack there, and I suspect that once they hire some more, it's going to be better and better. Yeah, 4.8. Right, well, oh, we actually got pretty much a full production with the current capabilities right now. So we're building the railway, and of course the private sector is building power plants, fertilizer plants, munitions, motor industries, textile mills, food industries, more textile, tooling, explosives, livestock, steel mills. Okay, so they're building a bit of everything, really. But the question is, of course, are we having some lack of workers in some places? We might be. At least in certain aspects. Not necessarily everything, but certain aspects for sure. We could potentially put in some more coal into the tooling workshop to reduce the workers needed there. It might not make it particularly profitable at this point, but I think it'll be fine in the end. The mines, we could also start using steam donkeys, but if we do have a look at the... Well, rubber is still very high demand. Iron is in pretty high demand. Engines are in pretty high demand. There's some clothing and a few other things, but it's mostly just a few things in here that are in very, very high demand. We still haven't got on the property women either, which will admittedly increase the amount of workforce available to us. At least a decent bit. Right, over here we still don't need to worry about the workforce too much, at least in the two western states. The southeastern state could probably use a bit more help. Is there... We could probably put rail transportation for the coal mine. There's plenty of transportation available. And then... Oh, low progressive voting. Well, there we go. Let's go ahead and take the silk plantation in here. Just increase irrigation production. Or the silk production, I suppose, right now. Problem is that there's a whole lot of silk available. Yes, there is. Okay, let's try to export some of that. The French market seems to be very potentially profitable for that. So we can do that one for sure. We're at 13.5 in standard of living now, so that's pretty good. And loyalist numbers are looking pretty decent. 113 million. How is China's GDP? 146. So it's still a 33 million difference. And we've got about 5 years to bridge that gap if possible. Which, it's not impossible, I don't think, but it could still be rather tricky. I'm going to go ahead and actually rice farms. Well, there's nothing over there that we can do, is there? And we've got the fertilizers already in use. The steam-powered treasure machines we do not have access to quite yet. However, what we do have available... Oh, right, silk plantations. Do we have transportation in high numbers in here? I do have a decent bit. Reduce the worker counts there. It does free up a bit more workers in here for other things. Of course, over here we still got plenty of workforce available. So that's not really a huge issue. But hopefully now, with the next role, we'll get the property women. That's going to increase the workforce even further. Which of course means that... Oh, right, there's people colonizing places. Not that it really interferes with our plans here, quite frankly. There's a few buildings that might be having some shortage issues. There's also apparently some of the construction workers having some issues. Investment pool is down to 4 million again. I suppose they've run out of things, or run out of money to invest. Oh, yeah, there we go. They invested into another furniture manufacturer. There's more motor industry being built, some railways being built, more paper mills being built. That's actually also pretty nice. How's the paper price looking like right now? It is a little bit elevated. It's not too bad, mind you. It is elevated. We're still losing about £20,000 per week, which, you know, is not great. Railway being built. I mean, I suppose that's going to give us a bit more money, most likely. Although it's probably not going to get purchased immediately because the investment pool won't really have the option there. And then we got, well, almost 140 million at least, so that's good. Rubber is still in high demand. Let's have a look. Is there import routes that could be worthwhile? Maybe the Italian market? I don't think that's going to be initially hugely worthwhile, but I can get a little bit more through there. I suppose another thing that I could do is just, I'm just going to go for the tooling workshop over here. Switch to the machine steel tools. We'll reduce the wood use. Increase steel a little bit, and rubber consumption quite a bit, actually. 300 rubber. Well, actually, not 300, but a lot of rubber regardless. But that might also make it somewhat more profitable. Plus, also, it will make the rubber import routes a bit more profitable. So there is that. But there is a whole lot of construction work still going on. Although the GDP hasn't increased too much recently. So I suppose we just need to start reducing the labor need in a lot of places, quite frankly. And what the lead mines over here, I'm going to put the steam donkey. It will increase the consumption of coal, admittedly, as well. I don't actually want to do that in the coal mines, mind you, because that's gonna just reduce things too much. There's a cotton plantation, we could reduce the labor use a bit further over there. For example, so that might be... Well, there we go, 140 million now, GDP. Of course, there's a lot of buildings still being built, so that's probably causing part of it. And then, of course, less people are now employed as laborers and hopefully getting into better paying jobs. At least some of them. Which should then reduce the issues regarding the employment. I like the standard of living is going to start increasing, which... Oh, right, we're not building anything with the government money right now. I suppose we might want to do something with that. How we're looking on the... Well, oh, there we go, property women. Now, let's wait for a moment to see how much of an impact that's going to actually have on the workforce. It's probably going to take a little... Oh, hey, there we go. We've got the petition government as well. There we go. So the intelligentsia are quite happy. Trade unions, less so, which does have an impact on the construction efficiency. Now, is there anything else that we could easily pass? I mean, there's commercialized agriculture. I don't know. I mean, it could maybe help. There's also the voting laws. If we could go for technocracy. Armed forces would oppose that. Landowners would oppose that. But landowners aren't really a problem. And the armed forces, they wouldn't be too angry. That would definitely be something that both industrialists and intelligentsia support, though. You know what? Sure. Don't know how much of that is. So that actually increases the amount. Well, the authority is going to be the same. It's going to increase the political strength of academics, engineers, officers, though. I guess that'll do. Right, so we're not losing too much money right now. Oh, we're actually making money now. Unfortunately, the armed forces are no longer giving us the offense and defense, but the military research speed is still there. So that's all that we need from them currently. Investment banks is going to be done in a matter of a few weeks, and then we'll try to get the treasury machines done quickly, and then some more society stuff. Probably pretty much society stuff for the rest of the game, really. Military, we're getting the monitors, which is, you know, kinda okay, but also it's not necessarily going to be that much of a difference for the torpedo boats. Now, how is the Chinese GDP? Is that growing? It is actually growing a little bit. So the difference is still 33 million. But we are definitely steadily running out of time. Right, did we already sell the railway here? Yes, it was. They probably need another one here. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and build another railway. But they just need transportation in such huge quantities that there's not really a lot of other options right now. Oh, and there's a few factories and all that being built. We're actually not losing that much money right now, even while we're doing the construction, which is surprising, to say the least. Now, I do wonder, actually, we are going to get another company very shortly, so I'm kind of curious, what should we take? Something that has a very large impact on the productivity, or just, you know, this could be pretty good for the, well, I suppose that we do have a decent bit of logging camps. Another one would be the paper consortium. Military good cost would also be somewhat useful. Loyalty from standard of living increases would be kind of handy. Also, both the glassworks and the furniture manufacturers would get a boost there. On the other hand, the motor industries, that could also be quite useful, getting the bonus in there. It's about a 14% company throughput bonus, and we could be constructing those things a lot faster as well. So that's definitely a potential use. The textile company would be also pretty good. We know that we got some problems with textiles, not massive issues, mind you, but we could still get more from that. Another one would be the metals. Oh, and there's the investment bank. That would also increase the steel mills. You know what? We know that iron is something that we are in pretty high demand, so I'm going to go with the Zhengzhou metals. That should be very profitable. And let's see, we've got 115 million. Let's have a look. How much is that going to be after this week is over? Once the productions start improving and all that. Oh, 116, there we go. There's 1 million immediately. Walls and wheat paste. On behalf of the movement to enact state religion. Yeah, we'll just order those walls to be cleaned. So we're kind of trying to get technocracy. I don't know if that's going to actually pass or not. I mean, it's got a fairly good chance of passing. Right, so in terms of trade, we might still need to get some more engines. Is there any... Well, there's not a lot of engines available, is the thing. Let's have a look at the highlights. So, iron is still in high demand. We do have a pretty good potential for exporting luxury clothing. Let's export some of that to the British market. It may not be a huge amount of income, but I'm sure that it will still help at least a little bit. Plus, it makes it more profitable for us to... Oh, human rights is spreading. Oh, right. Society, let's see. Human rights. Yeah, we can get that one. Threshing machine is going to start reducing the worker needed or workers needed for the rice farms, which is going to be quite handy. There's not necessarily going to be a massive reduction in the workforce need, but I'm sure that it will help. Right, so how we're looking on the engines price? 26% increase. It's a decent bit. It's a decent bit. We are probably going to go and... Oh, right over here we're starting to have some issues. Let's get automatic irrigation there. That doesn't actually reduce the worker need there directly. The transportation on the other hand does help. Cotton plantation, we could also go for automatic irrigation. So the textile price is going to be basically nothing. At least locally, which, you know, it will probably help, especially the lower strata population. But below 100,000 peasants in Jiangho as well, so it might be time to start utilizing the transportation in here as well. Actually, we're using that already for the silk plantation. We'll start using that for the cotton. Tobacco is already using that. Livestock ranches, we could go for the electric fences, actually. Reduce the worker numbers even further. Now, we're not building any... Oh, actually, no, we're building the railway. Oh, there's a bit of exile. Let's have a look. Is there anything else that we could... we need more rubber. Let's import more from... Well, I suppose the options are running a bit low. Let's actually... Before we do that, let's have a look. Is there... No, we can't declare any more interest. Which is a bit of a shame. It is what it is. Let's see if the technocracy will actually start moving forward or not. Arousing speech captivates the public. I'll take the 15% chance. So now it's 70%. I think we will probably pass that before the end of the playthrough. Now we're still at 115 million GDP, so it hasn't really increased that much yet. I'm sure that it will. I mean, the iron price has definitely gone down a little bit since the productivity has improved. There's a bit of demand for fine art as well now. Interestingly enough, we are making a bit of money despite constructing more. Unfortunately, the investment pool isn't, or the construction capacity isn't really fully utilized right now. Getting a bit more power down here. Did we utilize that already for the logging camp? We did. Another thing that we could probably use in here is just transportation, really. Could use the steam donkey, but we don't actually need to do that yet. We're trying to sort of reduce the worker numbers needed a little bit by little bit. Textile mill over here, let's get the mechanized looms in there. And then steel mill, we could probably get the boilers. There's a lot of steel being produced in here. Actually, is that... yeah, that's using the best that we have available right now. That should be fine. Furniture manufacturer, we could also reduce the labor used a little bit in there. What about over here? There's also a furniture manufacturer. We could put the water tube boiler there. And then I suppose the textile mills, we could get the mechanized looms there to increase the tool consumption a bit further. Now, we are getting a bit of radicals because we are, technically speaking, making people unemployed for a little while. But then they hopefully get to seek employment with some better paying jobs, really, sooner or later. So that will probably fix itself over time. And the population is definitely increasing fairly quickly. Like, in this episode, we've gotten more than 500,000 in extra pops, which is honestly not bad. Not bad at all, but I do see that we are actually out of time for this episode, so if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, or check out the links down below in the description. Part of that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.